Hello, Renfro's folks. It's Monday, the 26th of June. This plant is not a bonsai plant. This was the great big plant behind the store of tomatoes. It got diseased. We cut it way back, amputated off all the bad, just to see if it would get any better and hoping that these fruits would ripe. It's probably early blight. That's generally what it looks like. All the leaves were turning yellow. It's probably not going to make it. We did not spray with any fungicide. This is a disease where the pathogens come from the soil and splatter up. 1 week ago today, it started raining, and it's rained all the way until today and yesterday. So we had about a week of rain and had many inches. Our rain gauge is full back there. We emptied it out. We've had over 5 inches. Now we're going to go to the farm and see what too much rain does to tomato plants. Okay, Sunday, 8 days ago, the farm looked as good as it's ever looked. I tilled and worked a little bit and checked it all out, knowing that it was going to start raining that Sunday night. It rained and rained and rained, and look what happens. These are nice. These are our second or third plantings. They look great. And as soon as you get next door to them, everything's dying. And they probably won't recover. And it's where the water stood or didn't drain fast enough. It looks like you poured scalded water on them, and it goes all the way down that way. We've probably lost at least 200 plants in this field. Now up the field above the leaf pile, they look pretty good, and we've got several more plantings. And further up the hill, the okra and the squash and all are doing fine. Even here, where this is called our waterway, we leave this path. This is the low point in this field, so we leave it grassy so it doesn't wash. The waterway got 2 of the peppers. The rest of them are fine. It's just a matter of not enough oxygen getting to the roots, and they just drown. And they're history. And we don't have any decent plants to replace them with, so we'll just pull them up and put out a cover crop. Right beside the plants are some beans that we planted, and they're doing okay because they're just not as sensitive. Tomatoes are sort of the canary in the mine. Right next to the waterway, here's a tomato. A little further over, they're looking fine. When you do everything right, and you space everything, and you cultivate everything, and you use organics, it still can happen. It's just the way it is. So all of this work of putting up these cages and planting them is just lost. But that's what happens. Now here's some blight that's just beginning to show up. We're very careful to watch for this. Probably early blight. There's also one called serpentarial leaf spot. What you got to do is amputate all of the bad that you can. And then if you choose to do some spraying, we'll talk about that. But when you pull off these dead ones, don't put them on the ground. Put them in your garbage can. Don't let it spread. Let's walk over here and we'll talk about fungicides. All right, the word side, C-I-D-E, means kill. Fungicide kills fungus, insecticide kills insects, rodenticide kills rodents. So you're going to want a fungicide for these diseases like that right there and that right there. You look for OMRI, O-M-R-I listings. That means it's organic and is approved for organic farmers. This is a copper-based fungicide. This OMRI listed one is a bacillus. It actually is an organism. This is a broad spectrum one, chlorothalonol, which commonly is called daconil. This is a great one too, that's synthetic. And the nice thing is it doesn't have a wait period to eat the crops. None of these have a wait period. There are others, there are stronger ones. Fungicides are not the total answer. Good housekeeping, like we've talked about, spacing your plants out is good, but there's just not much you can do about all this bad weather. So if you're interested in this, we of course are here this week, but we're closed for vacation all of next week. And if you've got some plants that you're not sure about, just bring some leaves in and we'll try to analyze what they are. Now for the last thing that's fun, we had this What's-It a week or 2 ago. This is what a customer had given me back a long time ago when I was in high school. And what this was is you would put black powder down in there. It comes down to about here, stuff a piece of cotton or something in it. And then in this hole, you would put a fuse. And then this hole had a wire on it with a ribbon or something. and you would bore a hole in a stump out in the middle of the farm field or on a big tree, a log that was too big to haul out with the mules, and you drive this in with the hammer, and you light that fuse and you'd run. And this thing makes a big boom and is very effective. He said he cleared an entire farm field with this when he was a teenager, so he gave it to me, and that's a stump blaster, black powder. Video of Amigo Gaspar. He's cleaning and hoeing the okra. This is the highest part of our field. It's the driest where the sun's been, so you can hoe a little bit. It look bueno, Gasparino. Thank you. This is okra. Remember, here's where little Rosalind was helping Ruth push the planter. Look how she kind of merged the rows there. That's what happens when children push the planter. They just kind of go everywhere, but Gaspar will just hoe around them. All of this is cowpeas just strewn out just for cover crop, right on top of the ground during all that rain. These are seeds from we saved from last year. This pea patch will improve the soil, and this will be where we start the fall garden. All of this rain reminds me of years ago, about the first year I was in business. We were buying some wheat straw from a customer farmer friend of ours, Hub Fincher. His farm was where the YMCA is now. And we were buying some straw, and I was saying, Mr. Fincher, this drought is really hurting our business as far as gardening. He said, David, a drought will scare you in this business, but too much rain will kill you as a farmer. And I've always remembered that. I never complain about the drought because I know that sometimes you can get too much rain. There's not a thing you can do about it. And it's happened since the days of the Bible. So we just live with drought and live with rain and make do.